Hi you guys, welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about how to be a good person and what you can do in life to become a good person or just a better person or just to do things to make life better for people around you and for yourself. And the first thing I want to say is ask more than you answer. And what this saying is that the Bible encourages us to ask God for things. And not to always think that we know better or think that we can do things by ourselves. And I'm also going to read for you a few verses about the things that I talk about. And the first verse I want to read for you is in John 14, verse 13. And whatever you ask in my name, that I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son. So the Bible tells us here that we must ask God for what we need, and He will give it to us. Don't always also think that you know everything. Don't always think that you know the answer for everything. If people have problems, don't always think that you know what the answer is. It's a good thing to go on your knees and ask God what He wants or what His purpose is for that person's life before you give an answer. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is to be honest. Say what you mean and mean what you say. And this is a big problem that we have in the world of people not being honest and people saying things that they don't mean, especially when you maybe get in a fight with someone, get in a fight with your wife, and you just say something. You don't really mean it, but you just say it because you want to hurt that person. You must know these things that you say, you can never take it back again. It will always be there, it will always be in that person's mind, and you must be very careful what you say. And don't lie, don't go around and tell lies. If you are honest, you will always be honest, and you will not go out and tell lies. And verses that we can take from the Bible is in Psalm 50, verse 19. You use your mouth for evil and harness your tongue for deceit. Your mouth is filled with wickedness, and your tongue is filled with lies. And then also in Proverbs 12, verse 17. Whoever speaks the truth gives honest evidence, but he who is a false witness utters deceit. So there you can see in the Bible, and there's a lot more verses where they talk about lying and not being honest and using your tongue. I've in my previous episodes, there is one where I talk about the tongue, who is like a sort of two edges, and the harm you can do when you don't speak the truth or when you're not honest and when you say things that you don't really mean. And the third one I want to talk about is use proper grammar and leave foul language out of your mouth. And that is something that we all struggle with, me included, is swearing, using the name of God in vain. And that's a big problem for me because I don't really use the God's name in vain, but I do use foul language a lot, and I'm really trying not to do that, to be an example for my children and for the people around me. But sometimes it's just very difficult, especially in today's world that we live in. There's so many people that can make you angry, but we as Christians should put a guard in front of our mouths and think twice before we say something. And we must really work hard on not saying the things that we say, especially those people that uses God's name in vain. It just bothers me so much. I can't believe how these people can just always say these things like, oh my God, or Jesus Christ, or Jesus in Afrikaans. It's just so bad that people can use these words. And especially when you say Jesus or when you say God, you're actually calling him, and then he listens. And if you don't speak, I'm sure somewhere along the line he's going to get angry, and then I don't know what will happen. Because just think for yourself, if you are somewhere and someone just calling, hey Pete, Pete, and every time you look and you listen, then he doesn't talk. Later on, you're going to get angry. So when you use God's name, he's also listening because you're calling him, you're shouting his name out. And then when he listens, you don't answer. And we can read about this in Ephesians 4 verse 29. Let no unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs. So there you can see that the Bible tells us that we shouldn't use foul language, that we shouldn't swear and let bad words come out of our mouths. And you can go look at one of my previous episodes. You'll see it there that I talk about that. And then the fourth one is never use alcohol or cigarettes or pose with alcohol or cigarettes. And just in my previous episode, I've talked about alcohol. I think I've also touched cigarettes, but I did speak about cigarettes before in one of my previous episodes. You can go and have a look at it. But a Christian shouldn't really pose or use any of these things. And although I said in my previous episode that you can drink, I feel you can drink because the Bible never really tells us that we shouldn't drink. But the Bible just tells us about or speaks about drunkenness a lot. And the Bible talks about our body was the temple of Christ and that we should look after it. And that's why I feel that you shouldn't stand with alcohol in your hands or stand with cigarettes in your hands and then pictures get taken of you and you get drunk and you're falling around and you say things that you don't mean and you make trouble and all these kinds of things. So I really don't think that alcohol or cigarettes are a good thing for you. And if you really want to walk with God and do what Jesus did when he was on earth, then you shouldn't be with these things. And I will read for you in Ephesians 18. Do not get drunk on wine, which leads to debauchery. And there you can see that the Bible tells you that you shouldn't get drunk. But if you go look at my previous episode, I went more into it there. This is just where I want to tell you how to be a good person. And to be a good person, I really think that you shouldn't be drinking or smoking or doing all these bad things like swearing and not being honest and those kinds of things. But you can go look at my previous episodes and see what I had to say there about all these other things. Don't beg. And this is something that so many people do so easily, is begging. You know what the Bible says, and I just want to read this first here for you. In Proverbs 20 verse 4, the sluggard does not plow in the autumn. He will seek at harvest and have nothing to eat. And then in 2 Thessalonians 3 verse 10, the one who is unwilling to work shall not eat. And there you can see the Bible tells us that people who are not willing to work should not eat. People who are lazy and who doesn't want to plow will not eat. And so many people take it so easy because, I've heard about some people who's begging on the street who actually got jobs. People went out and gave them jobs and they left the job because they said they make more with begging. So they are too lazy to work. They just want to stand on a street corner and ask people for food and then we must help them. And now this causes us to actually not help people anymore. Like me, I don't really want to give people on the street food anymore. I do give, I'm actually collecting tins and scrap and then I sell it and I give people food on the streets. But I know for a fact there is some people, white people, who are sitting on the street who I've asked them to give me their phone numbers, to phone me and give me their numbers so that I can give them work, and I never hear of them. So I don't want to help people like that because they are just lazy. They don't want to work. And the Bible tells us that lazy people shouldn't eat. They mustn't get food. We mustn't help them to get food. So that is a big problem that we're sitting with people who's just too lazy. And that's why the Bible tells us people shouldn't beg. Take the blame and give credit when due. And this is a very important point for me because this one tells us that when we do something wrong, we must take the blame. We shouldn't blame others. There's so many times in our lives where we do something wrong and then we want to blame others for our problems. And we shouldn't do that. Whenever we do something wrong, we must take the blame for that. And we shouldn't blame others for that. And then also like when you work sometimes and someone comes up with a good plan and then you steal that plan. Let's say you're a supervisor and someone tells you, let's do this way, or let's do that way. And then at the end of the day, it works. And then that supervisor goes to management and they tell management, uh, look at this good plan or whatever. And at the end of the day, you'll get a certificate or something like that. And then um, everybody will think this guy is so good, but it was never him that came up with the plan. It was actually someone else who came up with that. And I'm going to read for you in Philippians 2 verse 3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or empty pride, but in humility consider others more important than yourselves. So you can see that the Bible tells us here that we must humiliate ourselves rather than to do something bad to other people. We must do nothing out of selfish ambition. Everything that we must do according to the will of God. We must always live like Jesus did. I've talked in my previous episodes about this. What will Jesus do? We must always ask ourselves, what will Jesus do? If we do anything in life, what will Jesus do in the same situation? Number 7, never insult the cooking when you are a guest. And this one is just a funny one that I'm putting in here, because you know how many people go to someone to eat with them, and then at the end of the day when they are done, they insult the cooking. The cooking was so bad. Could you taste the burn in the beans, or can you taste how bad the pumpkin was, or whatever? Someone will always have something to say when someone cooked for them. And I just want you to know that someone went out of their way, used their electricity, used their power, maybe get up early in the morning to cook you something, to invite you to go and eat with them. And they've done this for you because maybe they love you, or maybe they are good friends to you. And now you go and talk bad about their back, behind their backs. And I really don't think that we should do things like that. Whenever something doesn't taste nice, just keep it to yourself and just thank them for the food that they gave you, because you know food is also very expensive. And when someone goes out of their way to give you food and to prepare something for you, you should be grateful and not go behind their backs and insult them at the end of the day. And I want to read for you here in James 3 verse 17. This wisdom is not based on earthly desires or selfish ambitions, but comes from God. This word states that true wisdom is pure, peaceable, gentle, open to reason, full of mercy and good fruits, impartial and sincere. People with wisdom are not harsh on judgment or judgmental, but kind and compassionate. So this is what I think this is all about. You must be kind to others. And when you are kind to others, you will not say harsh things to them. It's like I've read here. Harsh or judgmental. You will not be judgmental to others. So you will not harsh and say things to them when they did something good to you. You will just thank them and be grateful for what they have done for you. Then number 8. Do not take credit for something you didn't do. And I've already touched this in the previous one, where you get this supervisor or this person who will take the credit and who will say that he came up with a plan, and then everybody will be so happy, and maybe you'll get promoted and you will go up in life, but at the end of the day he stole someone else's plan. And in Luke 6 verse 31, and as you wish others would do to you, do so to them. So you must always remember, whenever you go out and you say you did this, or this is something, or this is that, and it was actually someone else who came up with a plan, or who solved the problem, you must know you are doing to that person that you don't want someone else to do to you. If you maybe did something or came up with a plan or something, and now somebody else stole that plan, or they become rich with your plan, or maybe you design something and someone else take that thing and make something of it, and that guy becomes rich, it's not good. And you will not feel good if somebody else does that to you. So don't do that to someone else. Then number 9, be a peacemaker and not a fighter. And I want to read for you. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. This is in Matthew 5 verse 9. And the Bible tells us here that we must be peacemakers. We mustn't be fighters. We mustn't go out and fight with people and always looking for trouble. And that's also why we shouldn't drink, because most people, when they drink, they want to fight. Or it's very easy to get into a fight, because people will just say something and then you somehow get angry quickly, where usually you don't get angry very quickly. So this is where the Bible tells us, let's be peacemakers and not fighters. Number 10, protect those behind you and respect those beside you. Now this one, the Bible doesn't really say anything about this specifically. But this is a very important thing that we must always remember, that everybody is not the same. Everybody doesn't have the same strength, and everybody doesn't have the same weakness. Everybody doesn't have the same courage. So everybody will not always be in the same line when you want to go and fight. And everybody will not be in the same line when you want to go and hide. And I want to read for you here in Proverbs 14, verse 31. Whoever oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. So it's like I said, yeah, and I just want to read for you. The concept is not in the Bible, but the Bible does emphasizes the importance of protecting the vulnerable, respecting your neighbors, and following your leaders. And I also want to read for you in Psalm 82, verse 3. Defend the weak and the fearless. Uphold the cause of the poor and the oppressed. So there you can see the Bible tells us that we must look after the people who are weaker in us, that we shouldn't press them down or chase them out behind us. You know, if they are weaker than you and they want to hide because they are scared, keep them behind you. Show them that you are brave and that you will fight for them, because that's the right thing to do. That's what the Bible tells us to do. We must fight for the people weaker than us. And the Bible also tells us, yeah, that we must basically listen to our leaders. So whenever you are the weak one and you are not as brave, or if you are scared, then you must listen to the people who's in front of you, the ones who's brave enough to lead. You must listen to those leaders and you must do whatever they tell you. And then the last one is show restraint in expressing anger, no matter what. So you must always try and keep your anger down, if I can say that. You shouldn't get angry. And if you know, this is very difficult to not get angry, because if you look at Jesus, and I'm always saying, what will Jesus do? So if you look at Jesus, he also got angry. When he went into the church and they were selling stuff there in church, making a shop out of his father's house, he also got angry and he kicked everything around and threw everything out and chased everybody out of the church, because that's not a place to keep a shop. So even Jesus got angry. And if he got angry, how difficult do you think it must be for us to get angry? You know, when Jesus was on the cross, when he cried out, Father, Father, why did you forsaken me? I'm sure thousands of angels pulled their swords and said to God, let's go kill these people. I'm sure those angels were very angry to see the Son of God suffer like that. I'm sure they were ready to make a fight, but God told them no, they must stand down. So if the angels and Jesus can get angry, we as humans certainly will also get angry. But we must sometimes just stand down and just count to 10 before we just attack. And at the end of the day, it can help us to maybe lose a bit of that anger before you say things or do things to hurt others. And I just want to read for you here. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger. And I want to read for you. This word tells us that we as humans can sometimes get angry. But when we do get angry, we must not sin, and we must not sort our anger out that same day, or we must sort our anger out the same day. So what it tells us is we as humans will get angry and we can get angry. But the same day, we must sort our anger out. We mustn't wait the next day. So when you and your wife fights, don't go sleep angry with each other, because you don't know if you're going to wake tomorrow. And then if you die, the other person will sit with that for the rest of his life. So whenever you fight with someone, doesn't matter who it is, your brother, your sister, your mother, whoever, Sort that problem out that same day. And don't let the sun go down on your anger. When the sun goes down and you go and sleep and that person doesn't wake or that person goes somewhere and something happened to him, you will sit with that for the rest of your life. In Proverbs 16 verse 32, he who is slow to anger is better than the mighty, and he who rules his spirit than he who takes a city. And what that tells us is a person who doesn't get angry and who doesn't get into a fight is better than someone who can fight and take a whole city. So someone who can fight and kill everybody and is brave and takes a whole city and takes it over. A person who doesn't get angry is better than that person. So what it tells you is don't think when you can beat someone, you get angry and you fight with someone, you hit him to the ground that you are better than that person, because you are not. The one who can turn around and walk away and say, I'm not going to fight, that's the one who is the best at the end of the day. It's better for a person with a calm temper than to be physically strong. That's what it's saying to me. Yeah. So if you think you are physically strong and you are better than someone who is calm and who doesn't lose his temper, just want to tell you, you are making a mistake. So that is just a few things that I took out that I think you need to do in your life to be a better person. And I'm sure if we can take this and we can all work on these 11 things, that the whole world will be a better place for all of us to live in. I just want to ask you guys to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to. I really would like to get some more people to watch my videos and more people to share my videos. Share it with people, please. I want to get some more subscribers. I'm busy with this like for a while now, and I really don't have a lot of subscribers, and I would like to speak to more people. I hope you guys have a wonderful week full of miracles. God bless you. Goodbye.